What is good? What is good, everybody? What is going on? It's your boy, Reckless Ray Dinero, and we're back in the house again for another episode of Future Financial Strategies. Now, we had to pivot because there was a conversation on the Discord that I had where somebody wanted me to break down why I am more interested in financial literacy than I am with income. And, I left a little blurb in there, but then I was thinking about it and I was like, text does not do these conversations justice. So I went ahead and pivoted because obviously if something comes to my peer view and the way that I'm looking at things, then, I'm going to go ahead and talk about it because this longer form content, this might help some other people. I think it's a very important conversation, especially as much as I don't like saying the Black community, but within the Black community, it's a big conversation piece. I see it a lot. I mean, and honestly, in a lot of the men's spaces too. And being a man, this show is geared obviously towards men first because I can't act like I can rationalize or conceptualize what it's like to be a woman. I am a man, so parts and everything. I just gotta come at it from the angle that I'm at, and I'm a give the game how I give it. People ain't gotta like it. The way I want things set up in my household is not necessarily the way everybody has to do it in their households. But I do solve for problems. I do solve for maximum efficiency. So when I go on my tangents and my rants, understand that this is my perspective. I'm just a guy on the internet, so who cares what I think anyway? But that conversation sparked this video. So thank you and shout outs to the homie in the Discord that brought this to my attention. Hold on. I'm actually going to give proper shout outs to my bag chaser family because we are bag chasers over here and we do what we got to do. But while we're pulling that up, so the concept for me is, and I've said this for a long time, I don't agree with it now, and I've said it before, but like for the longest time when I was growing up, I was like, if you're a single male or a single person in general who knows how to navigate finances, $50,000, you should be able to figure out how to get rich. That was my opinion on that. It still is. It's not my opinion anymore because of the inflation that we're going through. I'd say roughly 65,000 now. You should be able to figure it out unless you're trying to look cool for people that don't care about you. David West, shout out to you, David West. I will be posting this video in that specific Discord. I see some people reacted to my comments in there. I appreciate you guys. As always, I love my bag chase fam. If you're not part of the bag chasers, that's not mine. And I normally don't advertise it on this channel, but I am a bag chaser. That's Anton Daniels of AntonDaniels.com. Bag chasers. A lot of people like to talk trash about that network, but I know for a fact that there's people in there that are wealthier than I am. I'm in there. I'm in there. There's people smarter than me in there. There's a good amount of there's a lot of game in there if you actually are looking. Like this is part of the issue that I have. People poo-poo on a lot of things, and I've gone through, and I'm a big advocate of paying for your education. I did not go to college, which is the second argument that I have for most of these cats, because like you talk to these people out here in these YouTube streets that apparently know everything, that went to college, are more educated than me, but they're worth less. It's weird. It's a real weird flex to have, that you just went into debt and now you think you know something that you can't get out of. And your net worth's worth less than mine. It's constantly going in the opposite direction of mine. You're telling me what I can and can't do at certain wages, and I'm doing things that you're saying that are like technically impossible, but they're not. Which is kind of why I started this channel. It's kind of my spit in the face, I give real game over here. And it's me testing as I'm doing it, because adamantly I have told everybody multiple times over, the only time I only make 6 figures a year, once every 4 years. I get a flash in the pan for like about a year and a half. I'm in that retrospect easily. And it's because I'm in crypto and I keep all my money in there, and it's a long play, and that's my retirement account. That's what I'm looking at. I don't look at my 401k or my Roth, which I do contribute to both. But those are failure funds, because my Roth is not going to make 200% a year. My 401k, not going to make 200% a year. Bitcoin has definitely made me 200% a year. So, I'd rather play the long game on that and worry about that. I still do the other things. Obviously, I'm collecting all the free money I can from my 401k. I'm a little converse, because the 401k, the Roth, the building those things up, A, they're not how banks navigate to build wealth. B, they're legacy tools. And we are no longer in a state where just doing the legacy bare minimum. If you are a bare minimum doer of things, you're getting washed out right now. Those tactics are not, while important, are not necessarily the most efficient. And we solve for the problem based on what's most efficient. So when I say that I'm focused more on financial literacy and how you navigate with your money over income, everybody has this push to get to 6 figures. We currently live in an environment where we've had multiple reports that most millennials that are making 6 figures right now are living paycheck to paycheck. There's a few reasons for this, but it all stems back to financial illiteracy, which means that like we've already run the social experiment of get as much money coming in the door as you can. We've already done that. We've already had that experiment play out. And these people are living paycheck to paycheck, and they're worth less than I am. Like, they have net worths that are less than mine, but they're doing the most. They got the Gucci belts. They got the car. They've got all these things where they're doing stuff to impress people that don't even care about them, to make it look like they're doing something, and they're not actually doing anything, because all the money that they're making is going right out the door as soon as it comes in. They're building nothing. There's no sustaining wealth. They can't stop working. They're accumulating ridiculous amounts of debt. Like y'all are going, debt's gone. The debt ceiling within y'all's homes are going up. I'm condensing mine down. We going in 2 opposite directions, and I make less money than you. How so, Sway? Make it make sense. I mean, you can tell me in the comments how that makes sense. Like, I don't know. It's weird. But I have a few concepts that I run on. And like, while I do, like, I'm not the type of person, I'm not job hopping every 3 years. I make long-term plays. Like, I don't take jobs because of what they pay. That's the last thing I care about personally. I take jobs for access and the rooms that it's going to put me in. I'm looking at where, like, if I can't get a place that has better access than what I currently got, I'm not leaving this job. Like, I don't want to be there. I don't want to just be working. If I was going to do something like that, I would get a remote job so I could just stay my happy ass at home. Or something easy. Like if you see me move out of this position, it's because I'm going into another position where I have started a business. And we're looking at some of them options too. But, just being a peon worker to get 6 figures, to then be living paycheck to paycheck on 6 figures, like, it gives you that magical number only means something if you're financially literate, because it gives you more opportunity. Now, to that point, I will wholeheartedly admit, somebody who's as financially educated as I am, that makes 6 figures, can definitely make moves faster than I am, and can definitely get some of my goals, some of the things that are on my trajectory accomplished faster. But money is a tool. It's a medium. It's not the be all end all. Making six figures does not make you important, does not make you mean that you're not broke anymore. There's people who are dead ass broke right now that make six figures. So when we have that conversation, I'm like, I don't care what you make. First, the reason my point of reference is I'm around actually wealthy people who have net worths of $1 million and up. Not one of them talks about their income ever. Ever. None of them talk about their paycheck money. Ever. Even the ones that collect paychecks. They do not talk about their salary. They do not talk about their paychecks. When we're having money conversation, that's not what comes up. Period. It's not a conversation piece. So like that's a non-starter for me because it really doesn't matter. We're looking at how your net worth is increasing month over month. Are you doing your finances? What are you in a better spot this year than you were last year? Are you in a better spot this quarter than you were last quarter? Do you even know your net worth? Do you know your net worth? That's a solid starting point if you're going to have a conversation with somebody that knows about money, because no one cares about what you make. They care about what you're able to hold on to and what you're building out of it. So, that those are the main points that I jump into when we have that conversation of net worth or income. Because it doesn't matter unless it's like, hey, I'm doing this to be able to set the platform for this and move forward here. But just trying to make people feel bad because of what they make, that is stupid. I'll make you feel bad because you're actually poor, and it doesn't matter what you make. Oh, I make six figures, but your net worth is negative $80,000 because you got debt up to your eyeballs that you're continuing to rack up. Your net worth's continually going negative every year. Your net worth's continually going negative every quarter, but you got Rolexes and Gucci belts. I don't care. No one cares. No one who has money cares. You're a laughingstock because you don't actually have money. You don't. You have money coming in that you're spending, but if you're not going to fix that situation, you're just going to be broke forever. And technically speaking, on all measurable metrics, if the only thing that you have that you can win at is having a bunch of things that depreciate in value, not necessarily the Rolexes, but the Gucci belts and all that other stuff that you guys like to flex online on YouTube. If that's all you've got, then, and your net worth is going the wrong direction, then you are worth less than a homeless person. I mean, homeless people are at least worth zero. They're worth zero. Zero is better than negative 80,000 or negative whatever your college debt is, or negative whatever your college debt stacked with all the stuff that you're accruing because you're always on the road looking cool and impressing other people. So a couple of the things I broke down in my comment were the things that I do to maximize my ability to build wealth faster. We went over the career thing. I don't take jobs or positions or get in career fields where I'm not having access. I work in home automation. We do $1 million and up houses. We're doing design systems. I'm intimately involved with the families of our clients. I have people that I can actually call that I've made from being in this space where I'll show up and we have one of our clients who owns an insurance company, and they're most of their dudes who don't know me. Whenever I come in, they always look down their nose. They're like, oh, it's just the IT guy or the guy who installs this or the guy who's coming over to fix the internet or whatever. And I'm dusty to them. They're in there in their nice, expensive suits. But when I go visit the owner's house, he's sitting me down, giving me game that they'll never have access to. If I ask him a question, he'll answer it. And they're not even tapping the resource that they have because this dude, they work for him every day and they're all in there trying to impress each other. And I'm like, I only need to talk to the guy that owns this. I don't need to talk to any of them. I don't need any of those dudes to pour into me on any level because the guy who signs their check pours into me. But they don't look at things the same. They want to look at the suit. That's how they value each other. That's how they value other people. They want to look down their nose. And I'm like, well, I mean, if we were to do a net worth assessment of everyone in this room, I'm willing to bet most of these cats are horribly in debt. I know all of them ain't rich. I would say, considering 18% of the populace makes over six figures anyway, which is another point. Only 18% of y'all is making six figures, so everybody's not making six figures. That's the other thing, which is the reason I have no problem admitting that I don't make six figures, because like realistically, like that would be super odd if you're on a panel and everybody's making six figures and nobody's not making six figures because you're online. That's weird. That's corny to me. But so I know not all of them are making six figures, which means that there's probably a lot of debt accrued in that room because them dudes be wearing some expensive suits. So, you know, it is what it is. But like the reason I take those jobs was to get in this position. And now I've got the circle of influence that I want. I also have learned a bunch about how people navigate, how things navigate, how finance works. Just so much wealth just being in this field. And, you know, haven't made six figures, but I've definitely gotten millions of dollars worth of game for free while getting paid. Well, I leveraged my way by getting good at what I do into a ownership stake in the company I'm with. So there's that also, long-term play. Couple of the things. So there's that. That was a long-term play. Obviously, I've been doing this for almost a decade now. And yeah, like it's one of those things where it's like you look at it, you learn a skill, can't take skills away. I'm also not trying to work in an office with everybody else. I took a job that's a skilled trade job. It's part IT, part construction. Learn a lot of skills doing that. Skills don't go away. AI is not coming for my jobs. They're coming for your jobs because everybody wanted to be in those offices, and now they're making those people irrelevant rapidly. I ain't seen a bit of AI in my field. Just saying. So I ain't got to worry about that. COVID shutdowns. I know we're not supposed to say COVID online, but I said it. The C-19 shutdowns. I never stopped working. I was never out of a job. Matter of fact, my workload for, I'd say, the first month was a little bit concerning. Like, and it wasn't concerning like we weren't working. It was concerning like we didn't know if we were going to get to continue to work. And then after that, we've been busy ever since. We've been steady. Workload never changed. Companies making more money than ever because the wealth transfer, it's coming from the hands of the poor, which is, technically us, middle class and poor. It's going to the wealthy, which is my client base. They're still building houses. Them houses ain't slowed down. The only thing holding us up is labor because people ain't going to work. It's about it. So we're waiting on other trades. We haven't slowed down a bit building them houses. So there's also that, positioning yourself to where you don't have to worry about things shutting down because rich people ain't going to stop wanting what they want. Plain and simple. When, you know, being able to get into crypto and going all in, being able to make a decision, place that bet and go all in on it. Now, I understand a lot of people look at things a bunch of different ways when it comes to crypto. A lot of people say, I don't get it. They say it was a scam. And, you know, one of the key things that I did that changed the trajectory of my wealth, period, was my play in crypto. I got educated on it, understood it, pulled the trigger, put all my money in it. Now, a lot of people think, oh, well, that's risky. That's gambling. I was like, it's not gambling if you're making an educated long play. Like, it's not any 1 year. I've been in crypto for 10 years. And it was a joke to everybody until towards the beginning of the pandemic when I wiped out $25,000, $30,000 in credit card debt, somewhere in between there. I don't know the exact number. And bought my place. Interesting, right? Then all the pretend money started looking real once I started making some navigated financial moves off that. But it's becoming educated in something and then doubling down in that space. Like, I understand a lot of people look at crypto as a hedge. I look at crypto as a future. So if I'm making a future play, I'm going to be predominantly in on that. Like, when I say that, well, I guess at the time, over 90% of my net worth was in crypto, 100%. So like when all these people are talking about crypto is risky, all of the gurus and stuff, I'm like, well, you're not all in on it. So you don't know what you're talking about. That's all I'm saying. Like, most of these cats have not been in crypto as long as I have. They do not utilize the tools. They're not utilizing smart contracts. They're not actually doing on-chain investments. They're putting their money on a Coinbase and thinking that accounts as a knowledge in the space, and it does not. No offense. but it doesn't. Like, none of these guys are as intimately involved for as long as I've been doing it to be speaking on it. Like, I don't speak on investments, even though we're about to start tracking some rebuilding my investment portfolio. But I'm not going to talk about it with the knowledge that, Earn Your Leisure or Pocket Watching would talk about it, because like Pocket Watching with JT, like I don't talk in those spheres, or in Anton Daniels, I don't talk in those spheres. Like, he does that. He's got a lot of money in it. That's where he makes his money. I get it. But like, when those guys talk trash on crypto, I'm like, well, they're not talking from a point of knowledge, because they don't know. And they don't want to say that they don't know. They just want to go, oh, well, like it's gambling. Or, I mean, Richard Fain talks trash on all the time, even though he has some of the investments that he's talked about, literally the worst crypto investments you could possibly make. He's just gambling in the space and then wants to talk trash on it when he doesn't make money. Because you're doing it stupidly. Like, you're doing it in a fashion of someone who is ignorant of a space and just throwing money at stuff. That'd be like if I just went and started trading options tomorrow knowing nothing about it. Going, oh, well, other people are doing it. I'm making money. I'm just going to throw some money in here. And then when I lose money, saying that it's a scam or that it doesn't work because I don't understand how to use that tool. They don't understand how to use the tools. And it's blatantly obvious as someone who's been in the space and produced results. Like, it's that simple. And that's not to say that I've never lost money. I lost somebody's paycheck. I lost somebody's whole salary last year. Guaranteed. Shit, technically speaking, I've lost my salary some years. But, like, if you're making more than you're losing, like, that's one thing. But, like, I've played in all the pools where you could be like, oh, this is a little bit risky. And, like, yes, it's unregulated. But the reality of it is none of your financial gurus in the stock market have pulled an average of 200% a year over a decade. None of them. Not a one. If you just bought Bitcoin, that's the standard. Just doing something real boring. So it's about honing in on those areas. So at the time, I was probably about 90%. So like after the dips, because there's a lot of volatility in crypto, that admittedly so. So including the dips, like we're in a down market right now, my portfolio, I would say across the board, it's probably, I'd say like 45, somewhere between 45 and 50% net worth is in crypto. But that's because of the price fluctuation. Now, coming here in the next couple of years, next year and a half, 2 years, that's going to change again but like I'm also adding in, like I purchased a home that went up in equity. So like I'm sitting in equity now. There's that. But the primary reason I wanted to bring this up was because if you're functioning your finances like a bank, then you understand that all wealth is created from debt. All wealth. That's just the system that we live in. To create wealth, you create debt. So for me personally, what I'm looking to transition my finances into is a scenario where I am using debt to purchase assets. That's where I'm headed. That's the reason I'm dialing back my credit card debt. Like most of those credit cards, I'm going to have one credit card. Like the way that this will work out in Ray's perfect world for his finance, I got one credit card that's accruing points for travel that I'm going to use as my daily card. Gets paid off every month. Now we're already set there. I just need to switch out the card that I'm using for that, but that's happening. Now, I also allow myself a float. I was allowing myself a float on my other credit cards. And so like my float limit during the good years was roughly 10 grand that could be floating. And that's, you're getting a couple of finance charges, but generally speaking, it's so that I can do large purchases and keep my cash in the market, because all of my cash is in the market. Now that we're going into this recession and I can see the writing on the wall, during C19, we dialed that back to 5 grand. Now, Now that we're getting ready to go into the recession, I am dialing that back to zero as far as utilizing my credit cards for debt. The reason I'm doing that is, hold on here. I can pull this down here so I can show these. So I get offers like this all the time. I don't know if y'all can see that, but it's for those of you. Let me slide that by here. These are the types of offers that I get from my banking institutions because your boy's got good credit and I pay my stuff on time. Now, what those are is it's these promos on balance transfers. So what they'll do is this piece of paper that I showed you also has blank checks ascribed to it. So I'll explain to you the play here. So this gives you an introductory promo offer on balance transfers of 0% APR until March 1st of 2024. And they'll send me an updated one next month. Like I didn't use this one. I don't use them all the time. Like I haven't started this yet. So I don't normally use these. But these checks for these balance transfers, I can just write the check to myself and deposit it into the bank and just have the cash. I don't have to necessarily write the check and send it to a credit card company. I can write the check to myself, which will allow me to pull money. The other option is it's 0.99% until September of 2024, which is just like a little fraction of interest on there. Me personally, I utilize the 0% sometimes. And so like there's a 5% balance transfer fee. So like I look at it as like 5%. Or at worst case, 6%. And that's over the balance of the amount. So for instance, if we took, let's just say $1,000, like if I just did this for $1,000, multiplied it times 0.5 for 5%, it's $50 to borrow $1,000. Now, I know personally that with $1,000, I can make $50. So what you would look at here is you would take that, and what I'm looking to set my finances up as is I'm going to pay for all my stuff, all the stuff that I utilize, the creature comforts, all that stuff. We're working towards paying for in cash. Now, with that said, we're going to start utilizing all sources of debt, all sources. So that's this credit card offers, these other random offers to start acquiring wealth, which means that like you would take that debt and convert it into an income producing asset, which we will be going forward now that I actually got my approval. I don't know if you guys saw the post on that, but I kind of posted everywhere. I was feeling proud of myself. My brokerage account with Citibank actually got approved. And now we're going to start looking at building that out. But that's between there and my crypto. That's where we're parking stuff. We're going to, every time I pull that out, there's going to be a certain percentage of it that's going to go into crypto, which will be most likely straight Bitcoin going into the coffers for forever. And a portion of it going into my brokerage, which will be income building. That whole portfolio is going to be built around just generating income. And we're gonna like I did the math on it, and realistically, for me to be chill and retired and not have to do anything, $600,000 a person. The reason I say that is because you get $600,000 in the market with an average of a 10% growth, which is not hard to do, plus it generating income. That's $60,000 a year, give or take a little bit. And me personally, I can afford to live off that. I mean, most people in most places, unless you're in one of the most expensive cities in the nation, can afford to live off that. Like you can be comfortable. That means you can go do side work, pick up some part-time remote job. You can be mobile, work a little bit as needed. It means you don't have to, like your portfolio pays you. That's what we're going for, is the option. Because anyone who knows me knows that I'm not going to work. But at that point, that the amount of labor, the amount of my body that I'm willing to sacrifice definitely would be taking some different opportunities in regards to that. So it's putting yourself in a position to where you get to choose what you do. That's my goal. And like that goal does not focus on your paycheck specifically. Like you have to know how money works to be able to sustain in a scenario where you're managing a portfolio, which means you have to know how to manage a portfolio. That's more important than your income, unless you're trying to just go to work for somebody else for forever. It'd be nice to be in a position where I'm building things, which I'm actually looking at hopefully getting some opportunities to start building some stuff, which is going to be pretty cool. I'm excited about it. But I just wanted to give a breakdown on here, and I was going to show some of the tools that I use, just give a quick rundown here. So I'm going to bring this up to the stream. Boom. So the first tool is Cash App. The reason I like Cash App so much is because Cash App specifically has a bunch of tools that I utilize. And I've told people many times, if I didn't have didn't use bill pay, I would specifically just use Cash App. Like they have a bunch of features that are really cool if you've been using it for a while. They have an ability to borrow money and they're loaning it out at 6%. That's a flat interest rate, not an annual percentage interest rate. And you can spread it out at up to the way that I have mine set up now, because I've been using it for a while. They give me up to 5 payments. So you can chunk what the amount that they allow you to borrow into 5 small payments. I always pay mine off early. They actually give you a kickback when you pay early. So like they give you a couple of bucks back. It's super cool. And they consistently increase my rate or the amount that I can borrow because I take it back. The other thing that Cash App has, it has a dedicated savings, which isn't really a savings. You don't get anything on it, but it like sets the money outside of your primary spend account and kind of like puts it in like a separate section to where like you can accrue it there. They have the ability to buy and cash out Bitcoin, which is awesome for those of you who are looking for, oh, well, how do you turn your crypto into real money? I don't use the out function often, but I use the in function regularly. They have a stocks section. Anyone who rocks with me knows stocks. We do what Wall Street Trapper says. We save our money in the market, especially long-term money. So we've got that going. I utilize that a lot. I utilize it for my savings. When you guys support the network, everybody who donates, it normally ends up sitting over there until I'm ready to deploy it. I do utilize credit cards for points, but we pay off the indiscretionary creature comfort stuff. You should not be financing your lifestyle. And actually I'm going to make my own saying, like I've been thinking about it, and this is what we're doing on Future Financial Strategies. The future financial strategy here is we are trying to navigate with our money as close to the bank as possible. So for the Dinero dogs out there, we do not finance our lifestyle. We finance our assets. That's what we move towards. You pay cash for your lifestyle. Go broke on your lifestyle. Finance your assets. And then it's just a numbers game. Can you close that gap between whatever the finance cost is and the asset that you're purchasing? If you can do that, you take a little bit of that money, send it back in to pay those bills off. Because like I have a certain amount that I'm paying back that I have paying back for the floating debt anyway. So you just keep that going. And now you're pulling debt out to finance assets and then just chunking, slowly paying it back, and then pulling more debt out to finance assets and chunking, paying it back on top of savings. Cause like I still save too. Like I still have my set amount that I pull off that goes into the market every month. So that's the Cash App. And the reason I use Cash App, I love it. I love Cash App. I know some people have had some actually I've heard one person who had some bad experience with their account getting locked up on them or something. But for me, I've been using Cash App for years. And the more I've gotten into it, like I have the premium Cash App card, the metal one. It is nice. I don't hardly ever use it, but like I still got it. Like I love Cash App. I'm a Cash App advocate. I do like it. It's very convenient. Everything that I need is there and it just works. So the next one, we'll share this tab, is Citibank. Why Citibank? For those of you who are new to the channel, Citibank is going to be one of the top fives. Like, as they're consolidating down power, I think Citibank is going to be one of those ones that's left. They have a global private banking institution that is a part of this that I did not know about. They also have multiple tiers for their accounts, which, let's go look at the checking solutions and I can show you what we're currently working towards. Ooh. All right. So they have the everyday premium. And so right now we're looking at, we're working, because like right now we're at the basic, which not hard to keep 1,500 on an average on those accounts. Like, that's not that big a deal. Because I have direct deposits. But as you move up, the upper echelon, we are currently working towards this account, the city account. Their standard. I mean, actually, this isn't their standard. It's kind of like a premium, but you have to keep 10,000 in eligible linked accounts, linked deposit, and retirement and investing accounts. But ATM fees, get a fee-free service on thousands of Citi ATMs, plus no Citi ATM fee when using non-Citi ATMs as long as you meet the monthly minimum balance required. So this one's cool. Like, they give you a couple of different things. I want to look at their premium accounts though. So we're currently working towards getting that $10,000 balance, but most of that is going to be in the brokerage, because we don't keep cash in the bank. Like, that's just ridiculous. I'm not a fan. I don't like it. But like, as we're sitting around here, but like, that's the reason we're going with this, is because we're working towards private banking. And let's see here. So at $30,000 is when you hit the private banking, and you'll see the stuff that they give you once you're on the private banking side. So you have to maintain $30,000 in eligible linked accounts, retirement, and investment accounts. Now you get the Citi no fees, preferred pricing and rates on select products and services, Citi priority advisors, that's financial advisement services, investment guidance and resources from Citi personal wealth management, right? So you can see that, like, once you're involved with these private banking services, there's just a lot of other stuff that you get when you're involved with this. And honestly, like, now that I'm looking at it, for $30 to have access to some of these introductory start stuff, when we hit 10,000 and I look to upgrade my account, I might just upgrade the account. Like, I mean, I'm paying to be in the Bag Chasers, like, I'm paying for a lot of other game, and to get this moving faster, potentially, that could be a thing, to go ahead and just be in the private banking sphere. Because like, this is private banking. These accounts are all private banking. And like, this gives you Citi Gold Concierge. Like, there's a bunch of stuff that you get. But like, so these two, so this one you can buy into. So technically speaking, if you pay $30 a month, you can get into private banking right now with Citibank. You're just going to pay for it. But the features that you get, like, I mean, all of this stuff, I'm thinking once I've got enough money in there to start navigating and making some moves, that's probably going to be worth it, to be honest. So like, we're going to have to see. We're going to have to see. But that's that one. And then the other one that I use for, and this is on the crypto side, is Nexo. That's one of my faves. I really enjoy this. I utilize it a lot. Now in the US, they took away the earn feature on this because we can't get our regulations together, and they're trying to make it as inconvenient as possible for people to utilize these tools. But Nexo is really awesome for borrowing against your crypto. And so that's what I was using it for to begin with. So that's basically the gist of what this is. It's a platform where you can store crypto. Now, obviously, there is some risk associated to this, so I only have X amount in there for what I take loans for from myself. But for those of you who are familiar with in-home banking, this platform is a tool that I utilize to be able to do that with cryptocurrency, and it's pretty awesome. So, we do that. One of the last thing that I'll touch on is house hacking. Now, for me, like, my big things are crypto and real estate. Like, I'm bringing back in, starting this year, I'm bringing back in paying attention to my portfolio and doing all that fun stuff. But for me, I'm really big on real estate and crypto. Those are my two things. And I know a lot about both. So the scenario that I have set up for myself personally is another unpopular one. I have roommates. I'm an avid house hacker. I love house hacking. I've always lived with, like, my whole life, I've been used to living with people. I don't have issues where I want to be holed up in privacy. My roommates that I have now, one of them's been gone for like 2.5, almost 3 months. Pretty sure he's going to be gone most of the summer, if not all summer. And then he'll come back and I'll see him in passing. I normally see all my roommates in passing. And then my other roommate, I don't hardly see at all unless I need him to move his car out of my way, which is a minor inconvenience. And that's only if he doesn't leave the keys out. That aside, I don't really see them that much at all, but it made it so that way we can stretch those deals. Like, it puts them in a position where they can save up for properties as well. Or they just enjoy, like, having discount, not having to pay full bore for rent and utilities. Like, that's always nice. But for me, it eliminated my two primary expenses. I do not have a car payment because I pay my cars off. Like, normally if I have a car payment, it's for 2 or 3 years at max. And then it allows me to get more money into the market and be able to navigate the way that I need to get the next property. And so currently we're saving up for the next property. And it's going to be a decision of if I want to sell this one and upgrade that way, or if I'm going to try and buy outright. I've been urged to not sell this one, so we're working at doing that. And yeah, that's another thing where it's like, well, you have roommates. I'm like, I don't care. I don't have a mortgage payment or a rent payment, and you do. Like, so and like most of y'all, since you guys are trying to, like, flex on people, it's more expensive than mine. So, and I don't pay it. So there's that. But it's one of those things where when you're actually breaking it down, for me, I'm very pragmatic when I make these types of decisions. It's a numbers game, and I play games to win. So if you're playing to win, that's a different conversation than if you're out here trying to flex on people and act like you're doing something online. Me personally, I'm not. Like, we're trying to build wealth over here, and I'm trying to show people, like, the tools, the options, and the strategies, and, given the outcomes of those strategies, which is always, I think it's fun. I like delving into those weeds at all times. So we're gonna keep pushing, but thank you again for bringing that to the purview. Shout outs to David. This was a good conversation. It was a good topic, and we're probably going to be doing this, for those of you who are catching us, it's going to be May 1st, Thursday night. Tap in for Guns and Butter, because we're going to be continuing this conversation with a live panel where you guys can tap in, rock out with us, so that way we can we can hash it out, and we can have the conversation. Like, I think this is going to be a good one. So I'm definitely looking forward to carrying this over. I will be having the video placeholder up on YouTube, so definitely take note over there. For those of you on Rumble, I have to wait until 48 hours in advance to set that up, but it will be there. So definitely be prepared. We're gonna be over on Rumble. Shout out to the Rumble family. We're going live over there. I got some people that I'm looking to tap in with over on Rumble. So we'll see you guys there. Thursday, May 1st. That'll be May 1st. That's this evening. So tap in with us at Guns and Butter, so that way we can continue the conversation. With that said, it's your boy, Reckless Ray Dinero, and we are out.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go. I pull up.